This is a recording of the interview I got to do with JD Crossover from June 17th, 2023. I'd like to thank him again. This was a blast to do. So please comment, like, and subscribe for YouTube. That's the big thing. JD, how you doing tonight?
Hello, is this thing on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. First of all, thank you for spending part of your Saturday evening with me and the listeners.
Yeah, no worries at all, man. Thanks for having me. I'm
Uh,
excited to
ab-
be here.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm curious. I've been a fan of yours for a while, and I am actually on location. I'm visiting my daughter in Oregon, so I'm actually an hour different than we agreed previous. So and I think people are testing out their Harleys down the road just because I'm doing this interview. Uh, and that's life.
That's very kind of them, isn't
It is.
it?
It is. So I spent the last 20 minutes driving around the block trying to find a spot where dogs aren't barking. But hey, um, that's the fun of it. Um, so racing, you're a big race fan. I never got much into racing. I know people that do, like get way into racing, uh, and I've seen some tweets about some weekend, um, watching that you do.
Yeah. I've been to racing sort of all my life, really.
Okay.
Different forms of it as well. So F1 is the main one. My dad works for Alpine at the moment, so and he's worked for a couple of the F1 teams. It's kind of been like a sort of a family thing, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And then other types of racing, I used to do like go kart tournaments or like championships. Done some like oval racing as well. I think in America it's like dirt track racing or like your demolition derbies over there in America. Um, but yeah, sort of things like that. I've done a couple of races in those. Done a couple of races in stock cars. Yeah, no, I do like my racing. That is one of my favorite hobbies for sure.
Is it terrifying though? Is it because that's one thing about like racing is where you're pushing the car to like the end, the limit where you feel like you're going to lose control. In order to be competitive, you have to be willing to go to that point.
You do, yeah. No, I love it though. I love it, and like some of the racing I've done is the bang racing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but you basically go out there to crash your car. That is the whole purpose of it. So that was the scariest thing I've ever done. That was an experience.
I can imagine the first time, the first one, where you're like, wait, no, okay, I run into him. No, so is there a strategy? Is there a strategy when you're out to wreck somebody's car and not yours?
uh, try and survive for a little bit so you get a couple of laps in, and then try and line up a nice shot. And you don't try and hit head on because that's gonna damage your car a little bit quicker. You want to go into the back of somebody else's car.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but yeah, no, it's that's an adrenaline rush for sure.
I like that. Yeah, those are the decisions you got to make at a split second, or yeah, that ends a race, or it ends somebody else's race. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
exactly.
That's cool. And then that's the whole competitive part of you. Um, and a couple other things besides competitive. I have a little intro that I wrote down of things that I think I know of you. Um,
Okay.
some maybe just total lies, but they're in my notes, so I gotta say them. I don't know
I'll
what
fact check you. I'll fact check you as you go.
Perfect. Yeah, kind of how I discovered you because I've been a fan of you for a few years now. And first of all, a YouTuber with the No Money Spent series, teaching people how to play games with this in the microtransaction world, in a different way, which is helpful. Being new to the my team mode is where I found you, which is a very huge game as far as information. And so that was the first thing. You were the information guy. And then you were a streamer without music or even background music,
Yep.
which is a whole move that
It's
I've
it's
noticed.
different. Yeah. It's different.
It, and
I just
what made you decide that? Because I'm just dabbling in content creation myself. I'm big into music, and it's like almost a crutch for me that hey, if I'm not saying nothing, at least I'm jamming to the tunes. What made you decide to go that route?
so for me, I like to produce content that I like to consume as well.
Mm.
So I watch a lot of streamers as well. I watch a lot of videos as well on YouTube and watch a lot of Twitch as well. And if I go into somebody's stream and they've got music blaring out to the point where I can't hear what they're saying, then like I'm straight away just clicking off their stream. Or if they've got some like, I don't know, really loud, like obnoxious music going on, it's just like I don't want to listen to that. So for me, I prefer listening to, little background music is fine in somebody's stream, and I'm chill with that. But for me, I've just found it easier, and I just talk a lot. I feel like there's never any dead space in my streams. I just talk a lot, and that kind of just fills up the need for any music, I guess. I don't know.
That's big props to you, and that's one thing it is, because you don't notice without saying, hey, have you noticed there's no music there? A lot of times you wouldn't notice, just because there's constant information, there's constant flow, there's constant interaction with the chat. So one of my favorite streamers right away, I have to say that.
Oh,
and an entertainer. Keeping the information going, whether you're getting angry about a certain subject, that, or jumping over to a FIFA subject, which I don't know about, or even soccer at all, but you can bounce information back and forth. So entertainer, you got to be on. That's underlined on my note. So
I'll take that. Thank you.
and a podcast guest. A lot of people I was introduced to through Jazz's podcast. And that's one where another kind of cool situation where it seems like in an interview there's more flow to a story, you can get more substance, but like in a chat situation there's so many different subjects that you can't really elaborate a lot. So seeing you on that podcast, that's when I realized, man, this guy, he knows a lot about a lot of things, getting intense, getting deep in a lot of these subjects.
I don't know about knowing a lot about a lot of stuff, but I can, if I act like I do, then happy days.
It's not what you know, it's what you act like you know, right?
Exactly. Now the podcasts were great. I mean, I did the first ones with Jazz back in 2K21 before he brought it back this year. And they were great fun back then. And then he had me on, I think, 4 times this year or something. And they were all great fun as well. I do enjoy it. And again, it's just talking. I just talk a lot. Always got a lot to say about 2K.
And that's a good thing. And it's not just 2K. It's something you can elaborate on, different subjects, which is a skill in itself. But I do have I guess this is kind of 2K related, a Hoff scientist, as far as badging up cards and taking them to the moon and seeing if you can push the limits to a game on a certain aspect, which is such a niche thing, but it's so entertaining.
That was a good run. I mean, obviously it's not really a thing anymore, but last year that was big. I didn't quite get the 8 figures. I had a 9.7 mil Shaq. That's my all-time 2K record. But then this year it was big as well. Before obviously the whole ban crackdown happened. But before that, it was great. I think I sold a Yao for like 6.5, and I think there was another card at like over 4 or something like that. So it was good, and that was really big motivation this year. Was grinding for like every single badge possible because it was so lucrative. And people really liked following that journey because it was a lot of time. It was completing like every game mode. Playing if there was a 1 random badge in limited, it was playing literally as many games as it took, which was like 30-40 games sometimes. It was an intense grind, but we got some really good results out of it. We made a lot of MT.
Oh yeah, you'd never think that you'd be on the mad hunt for a Hoff bailout, something like that. The final piece of a puzzle, or Pro Touch, or something like that.
For real.
But then you're also comp at 2K. And I've seen the film. I've seen the Quals days. So.
I think comp is a. I had one lucky run. I think it was the first game day of 2K22, where I went undefeated in the whole 4 hours, and I finished 8th. I still to this day don't know how it happened. I'll have to watch the footage back to see if it actually did happen, if it was a pipe dream. But I think I did go the full 4 hours without getting beaten. But since then, I get lucky with a couple of games. I usually do end up losing to somebody who finishes, on the leaderboard. But I'm half good when I lock in. But locking in is tough for me because I don't really have the attention span for it. Clutch time online is brilliant. This season I've done clutch time. I think I went about 102. 100 wins, 2 losses, which is great. It's fine because it was relatively easy. My unlimited record right now is like 36 and 55 or something like that because I just quit out of games because I just don't have the attention span for it anymore.
Oh yeah. See, that's why you stick to the 102. If somebody asks what your record is, 102. Yeah.
Exactly.
Nobody asks what your other record is. You stop right at the 100.
I'll take comp in Clutch Time Online for sure.
Hey, comp is comp. All right. Whatever it is. Also, your comp in Battlefield. Uh, I know I got to witness a couple of those. When during what quote unquote dead seasons in the other game, where you hop back into that, and it's like watching somebody ride a bike. It's not riding a bike for me. It takes me longer to get back into games, but it was, yeah, that you're competitive at video games. Has anybody ever told you that?
Never. No, I never heard that. That's brand new information.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in your notes there too. Very competitive. What is it about Battlefield, as opposed to like Call of Duty that
uh,
got you? Or are you just as good at Call of Duty? Maybe I don't know that.
I've only had one Call of Duty, and that was Black Ops 2, which was, I
Hmm.
don't know how long ago, it was 10 years or whatever. And, I was, again, half decent at that. I just prefer, I've always had Battlefields. I've had like Bad Company 2, and then Battlefield 3, 4, 5, and then 1, and then 2042. But I've just preferred the gameplay of Battlefield, really, and I've never really jumped on the train of CODs. But yeah, no, I'm pretty good at Battlefield, so I know I'm half decent at that as well. It's always good fun bringing that back on the stream.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So the one-off streams are nice because I know you have your little rotation of games, and I do say little because it's pretty tight, the games that you go to. But then when you branch out a little bit, it is pretty entertaining. And I know everybody runs the risk of alienating they're only here to watch this kind of content, but it's
Hmm.
it's a good way for any streamers to open up their personality a little more when they're yelling about a different game instead of
Yeah.
the same game. Um, and next on my list is you were a victim of GTA, and
I saw you put that in the like little promo. In what way?
you had your car stolen.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, and I don't mean to bring up bad memories, but it's in my notes, and so I try not to cyber stalk people that I interview. I try to just go off of things that I know about them, and then if I need to find that information, I figure I'll ask them when I get to talk to them. But it's one thing that really stuck out in my mind because I've had things stolen. I've had like tools stolen at work, and it's very I don't like it. I don't like that feeling. But I can only imagine having your vehicle stolen.
It's not a great feeling. I'll be honest. It's not a great feeling. I can give you the whole story if you want because it was a GTA style
Uh,
ending to it.
that's what I'm here for. That's why I put it in the notes. Yeah, I'd love to hear that story because it's something again that I could hear broken parts of it during stream, and I tried to ask you stuff, but man, you're trying to entertain the masses, not rehash an old story over and over again.
Or
But
making
here,
myself cry thinking about it again.
I think I know you love that car too. That's
I
all
did.
right.
I did.
Okay, the
Yeah,
floor is yours.
it was my
You wake up
first.
that morning.
Yeah, it was my first. The car itself was a Fiesta ST, but it was modified quite a lot. I put quite a bit of money. I do love my cars, as you know already. So I put quite a lot of money into it. Had a tune to make it a little bit faster. It had about 250 brake horsepower. It was nice and quick. It had a nice exhaust on it. It was loud. It had a body kit on it. The whole works on it. And it was my first car where I put passion into it and to make the car how I wanted it to be rather it just be like a stock car. So I had it for about 2 years, I think, and then I was staying around my girlfriend's house, and I have contact lenses, so obviously I take them out every night. So when I wake up in the mornings, I'm basically blind. So I wake up, I get woken up by her dad, who knocks on the door and says, "Josh, I don't think your car's outside anymore." And I'm thinking, he's probably just missing, it's probably parked and he just can't see it or something. But I obviously can't see a thing. So I said to my girlfriend, I'm like, can you have a look? And she goes, it's not there. And I'm like, I'm putting my lenses in. I'm thinking, how can my car just not be there? And then I looked outside and it just wasn't there. There was absolutely nothing. There wasn't any glass. There wasn't any evidence that a car had been parked there. It was just gone. So call the police, tell them that that my car's been stolen. Start knocking on people's doors to see if they have any CCTV on their houses, to see if we can get any glimpses of it. one bloke did, and he said he was going to start looking, and he eventually did get back to me. I think it was like the next day or something, and he found some footage. I think it was 3 in the morning. I think it was 3 a.m. and you could see the car driving past, which was very sad.
Oh,
So I've got video of it.
not to laugh, but looking back, it can be a little humorous. But yeah, looking at and wondering, okay, you're inside sleeping, watching your car drive away.
Mm-hmm. Not great, not great. And then I get a phone call from the police, and they say, "Oh, we've had a ping from your car. You know, the number plate's been picked up on a camera." And they say it was heading towards sort of the area where I was, where it got stolen from. And then they give me the timestamp, and they said it was like 4:45, and I said, "Well, I was driving it at 4:45," and they said, "Well, but it got stolen from your house," and I said, "No, I told you guys it got stolen from my girlfriend's house." So they initially thought that my car got stolen from my house, and they thought they found it when it was me driving the car. So that wasn't. That's how it started.
Yeah, have you looked outside, sir? Have you looked outside? I think we found it. You have
Exactly.
it.
That was
No, I'm the one that
first.
called.
So that was the first interaction with the police, which was great. And then, a couple of weeks went by. I was talking to the insurance company, and it was the day of getting my insurance payout, and it was quite a lot of back and forth with them trying to get, more for it, 'cause it had so many extra modifications on it. And we'd agreed on a fee, and it was a day of where it was going to get all finalised. And then I get a call from the police, and they say, "We've found your car. It's at the police pound, but it's been used in a string of burglaries in the area." And I'm thinking, this can't be. You're having a laugh here, right? Surely. So they say, it's down at the police pound. You can go see it tomorrow. So all right. So we go down to the police pound the next day, and we're sitting in the waiting room for ages. And they say, "Oh, we've actually got a detective working on the car right now, gathering all the evidence from the car." So they actually had a detective on the day working on my car. And they say, "All right, you can go back and have a look at it now." So I went back and had a look at it, and the detective was still there, and they were bagging out. And I kid you not, it was like 2 black bin bags full of cigarettes and like 2-liter bottles of alcohol, of like vodka and stuff. And they look at me and go, "Is any of this yours?" I go, "No, funny enough, that's not mine." As it goes. So these criminals, as dumb as they are, they used my car to rob. It was a couple of co-ops, which is sort of like local food and drink places. I think they hit two of them, and they've then run out of fuel. So the car got left at a pub because it ran out of fuel. So they used my car as a getaway car, forgot to fuel it up, and then left everything that they stole inside the car. So they didn't even get away with anything. Like, the levels of stupidity is just...
Yeah, that's the Home Alone crooks right there.
For real.
Okay, all right, we ditched the car. At least we got the goods. Did you get the bag? No. Did you get the bag? No. I didn't
It's
get
like
the
one
bag.
of them was meant to refuel it, one of them was meant to bring the stuff out of the car, and they both forgot their jobs.
Yeah, they both show up with nothing but a story. Yeah, and then you get to, and so they just paid it out and they took the car from you, or to try to, because I can imagine you talking to the insurance about how much a certain upgrade really means when they're like, "Oh no, this is stock," and you're like, "No, you don't know how hard that part is to find for that car." Yeah, and they're like, "No, it's only a couple bucks or a couple pounds."
So so I think the car went to auction after that. It got auctioned off. But I just didn't want it back. After it got stolen, it's not a good feeling. And the annoying thing was, it had been driven around, because obviously I knew roughly what miles it was on. It had been driven around for around 500 miles, and it was found really locally. It was literally in like 3 villages away, and it's very, very obvious that it's not an inconspicuous car. Like I said, it's very loud. It's got a body kit. It looked unique. Like, there wasn't another car that looked like that. So it was driving around for 500 miles, around these little areas around here, which you're not putting a lot of miles in, but they're on the road for a lot, and they didn't find it, which is staggering to me. But yeah, then got the insurance payout, and then obviously my insurance went up a lot. I really struggled to get insured because my car got stolen through no fault of my own, which wasn't great. And then yeah, even to this day, I'm still paying more on my insurance because my car got stolen. So yeah, it's not a great. And like you said, even if you have little things get stolen, it sticks with you. But even now, like I've had like nightmares about, well, not nightmares, but like like dreams about it, and I wake up and think, yeah, God, I hope my car's still there. And like if I'm walking in a car park and I'm walking at a wrong angle and I can't quite see it, I'll get that sort of sinking feeling in my stomach again. So yeah, it really does stick with you because it was a really good car.
In
And I
two
did really
years,
like it.
if you had it for 2 years too, that's not a new car. That's your car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Custom cars, and now your car's been terrorizing the area on a crime spree. So that's not something you really want to fight to get back.
Yeah, so I had to let that one go. But I did get another car after that, and the car I've got now is it's the same one. It is a Fiesta ST again, even though they do get stolen a lot. But now it's got a lot of security on it. It's got like a tracker on it. It's got a steering lock. Like that thing ain't going nowhere without me knowing about it.
Yeah, and
And
it's got you pacing the parking lot every hour, 15 minutes at night. Yeah.
exactly. And I've got more power in this one now, so it works out for the best.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to bring that back up, but I
No,
thought it
you
was an
good.
interesting story that doesn't happen to a lot of people, but it does happen to a lot of people, I guess, both percentage wise. But like, I don't know how many people here right now have ever had their vehicle stolen. I have not, but that's like, aside from having your house stolen, what else can be stolen from you that's big?
Yeah,
So
it's the second biggest thing, isn't it? Like you said.
yeah.
But yeah, zero out of 10 wouldn't recommend.
That's right. That's right. And then one thing on my list, kind of at the end of my list, was professional gamer, and then that's professional because you left Twitch for Facebook,
Hmm.
and that was the end. And I wished you well. I redeemed all my stuff before you took off, and that was the true version of a professional gamer. This is what you do for a living. All right, you're switching companies to do your craft. Um, and it was the end until the return to
It
Twitch.
was.
And
Yeah.
that's selfishly for me, because I know you've been doing things for in between this gap. You've been doing a couple things, but this is just me on the outside looking in, being a fan on your YouTubes and being a fan of your Twitter. But I've discovered of myself, I'm more of a live content fan, and I don't know if it's my need for interaction, um, but and I don't know if you have the same thing. If you get just as much enjoyment watching a YouTube video as you do being in a stream.
I think so. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos. To be fair, I probably watch more YouTube than Twitch at the moment. But so it depends who's streaming. If there's a day where I'm not streaming and I want to watch somebody, then I watch it. But most of the time, it's me streaming. So
Yeah. So busy doing your own thing, it's hard to keep up with everybody else.
yeah.
Yeah, and so welcome back to Twitch.
Thank you, thank you.
But, selfishly again, because I get to see a little more, but everybody's busy, and but being a content creator, being a streamer, that's not something that people just wake up one morning and say, yep, this is what I'm going to do. There's a whole line of decisions that, and even being a successful streamer, and in the intro type thing, I was saying that we get to kind of see the finished product, or the current product, maybe not finished product, but the current product of your content. We didn't get to see the first time you realize that you're good at a game, or the first time that you realize that you want everybody to hear your opinion on this game or any game. So let's say, when did you get into video gaming? Back as would it be a wee lad? Is that the right vernacular for your area? It could be me being an American that hasn't ever left America. I don't know what a lot of terms are. I sheltered upbringing.
Wee
Uh,
lad is not really one for around here. That's sort of
yeah,
different
I don't know.
countries. Close enough, close enough.
All right.
But yeah, no, I've been into video games since I had PS1s and then PS2, PS3, had a Nintendo Wii, had an Xbox 360. If there was a games console out there, I had it. I was playing the games, I was enjoying it.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I've been gaming for a long, a long time.
And how did the gaming look like when you first got into it? Was it more that you got to, play a single person game or invite your buddies over and play a sports game and see who's the best or some kind of co-op style?
It's
What
very.
was your biggest thing? Like you'd run home for the weekend, and how did your gaming look on your school
Uh,
breaks?
I think it was mostly FIFA back in the day. I think I had FIFA from like FIFA 2008, so I would have been 13 back then. But I think that's when I've really started like gaming a lot. Was probably around that 10, 11, 12, 13 age. But yeah, FIFA was the main one. Battlefield would have been around that time as well. I think that was when Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was roughly out as well. Probably that as well. And then back then there was loads of like little games that were released. It wasn't just like the yearly major titles. I think I was played some other like probably like some racing games, some F1 games. Um,
Um,
but yeah, played a lot of hours on a lot of games.
and so was it right into like an online situation? Was it right into okay, you versus me? Uh, or are you an offline grinder at this point or
No,
um
I think mainly I did like the online side of things. And I think
um,
that's what pushed me to, as you eloquently put it, maybe have a competitive side.
or are you a messenger or did you message people because I have two sons that are big into gaming. One is a messenger that's been banned multiple times on Xbox and one is not.
Um, I think I had one ban from PlayStation, only like a little 10-day, little slap on the wrist, probably like 4 years ago, maybe. But
Okay.
nowadays, not so much. Nowadays, I'm a lot more chill in my old age.
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah. No, yeah, the messages just aren't as satisfying anymore because when you look at the profile pic and you're like, man, that's a cartoon. It's probably a child.
Little
He
Tim, who's
has a
10 years old,
point.
is just better.
Yeah, he's way better than me. He has a point. I was camping. Yeah. Oh, all right. Hold this win, bud. You get the GG's message. That's it. That's as deep as I get. Yeah, because that's what I there was a big because I'm a couple years older, probably not older, much older than you, but a couple years that I was it was all offline. It was all offline until it wasn't. And
Hmm.
then everything was online. And then that's the first Call of Duties where I got to play, online with my buddies in different areas of the country. And I was blown away and I was hooked. I think it was Modern Warfare 2, the first version of that game. Which is ridiculous. They just need to quit making the same game over and over again, right? That's a side
Hmm.
note. At least give it a different name so you don't have to differentiate which era it's from.
Yeah, at least dress it up differently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At least call it Modern Warfare 2, the other one. And so hey,
Catchy,
it's the other
catchy.
one. Yeah, it's the other one. Yeah. And so you're playing online. Let's say that you're playing Battlefield. Is that with buddies that you know, or you just hop in with randoms and see what happens, or how does that look?
That's assuming I have friends, which is a bold assumption. Um,
Yeah,
no, just
what I'm
hopping.
learning is we all have more friends than we know in life. It's who you have to ask around. That's it.
Oh shit, I've got the cats, so we'll count them.
See,
Um,
there's a friend. That does count.
Battlefield. I used to be in a little clan or whatever. We used to do like tournaments and shit with some Battlefield guys. So I guess I used to play with them. But then yeah, most of the time it's just hopping on and then just being solo and just getting to the top of the leaderboard. That's what I used to enjoy doing, and I still do again when I hop back on Battlefield. It's usually just get to the top of the leaderboard. Be the best in there.
Okay, so were you on a hot mic in there? Um,
I don't think so. So I think I was quite young when I was in those
okay.
tournaments. So it was like other people who were like leading it, and they took again like esports is these days. They all take it like so seriously. And
Oh,
like me being like quite young, I was like, oh shit, if I mess this up, and like if I die here, they're all gonna hate me forever. So I just kind of just like, no, I'll do my job, do as best as I can, and then just
yeah.
hope for the best. But I've got fond memories of that. I've got definitely good fond memories of sort of early online gaming, I suppose.
Oh yeah, letting your game do the talking too.
Yeah,
hopping in the lobby and yeah, dominating, and then you're hoping the randoms are hoping that you end up on their team throughout the evening, and then they
yeah.
start messaging you. Yeah, that's and that takes skill though, because I got the opposite messages when I was a random on a squad. It was like, hey, did you know what the point is? And I was like, hey man, I was covering C. All right. I'm sorry.
PTFO.
Yeah. Then I get, blackballed off the team, not like kicked off, but they'd be mean enough to, yeah, I'd switch squads. That's fine. I'm used to it. Thick skin. You got to have thick skin in online gaming.
You
That's
do,
for sure.
and for content creation as well. You've got to
Yeah,
be in
and
as
that
well.
see, way to jump my segue. I like that. I like where your head's at because I was gonna say you got to have even thicker skin to create content for gaming. Uh,
Yes, yeah,
so
definitely.
when So let's say, well, we'll back it up. That's maybe, you're 13, 14-ish. I don't know what the big hot social media is at the time. Uh, Probably still all the same ones. It's not really that long ago. I don't know.
I think
Uh,
probably Bebo was the one. Bebo on Facebook, I think. I don't know
okay.
if you
Okay.
Bebo out there, but
What about MySpace? Did you ever have a MySpace?
no, I never got into that. I think that was just after or like
Oh,
before. So I think that was just sort of phasing out. I might have
okay.
like created one just to be one of the cool kids, which didn't work out. But yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, go figure. You hop on the MySpace train right before it goes belly up.
I
Yeah,
think yeah,
I,
that's what it would have been. Yeah.
yeah, I hear that. Yep. Okay, and so you're playing online. What and so at this time, because they back in my day, they used to have an instruction book when they sold you a game. So if you
Yeah,
had
I remember
questions
that.
about the game, they had a book. They gave you a book for it. And
Yeah.
now it's like YouTube or content creators are your instruction book.
Yeah,
Did,
definitely.
so at this point, were you watching content creators and playing at the same time, or were you just um because it's a big leap for you coming up in this story, like a huge leap, and I know it's so long for you and kind of what you've done since then. It doesn't seem as big, or maybe it does seem as big, but I know for everybody that's a fan of yours, that changed who you are to everybody that knows you.
So
Um,
I first started watching YouTube and sort of like gaming videos. I'm just having a look here. Probably FIFA 11, I think. So that would have been 12 years ago. So I probably started watching gaming videos about 12 years ago on YouTube. And that was watching, like tutorials and like skill tutorials, and then like some funny videos. So like KSI, I'm sure you've heard of him from the Simon. So I remember subscribing to him when he had about 5,000 followers or something like that, or 5,000 subs. So like quite a while ago when he wasn't quite as famous as he is right now.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember following him on Twitter when he had about 300 followers, and he replied to me a few times because obviously he didn't have many followers back then. So yeah, I was quite early onto the sort of like FIFA YouTube scene. And it was, I really did enjoy that. And, that was, when I was back then, I was like showing it to people, being like, oh, look at this. Like, this is so cool. Like, look at the way this guy's like editing this video and making, video games seem so cool and whatnot. Because, there was a stigma about video games being like, oh, you can't just sit inside all day playing video games or whatever. And I was like, well, this guy's making it hella entertaining. So, like, can we do that? Like, that sounds, this sounds
Oh,
good.
I've been called a video game nerd my entire life, man. Oh yeah, from '86. So I get it. I get the stigma. I
Yeah.
live the stigma. All right. But now when you stream it, it's cool. Yeah. So I'm curious about how this goes. And so you're watching KSI, and so you're grinding FIFA. Is that your main mode? FIFA, a little bit of Battlefield, and then so when did you want to start telling people more of your opinions about these games? Was it Twitter?
Um,
Was it what was the first that you decided that, yep, I'm going to let everybody know what I think about this game for a while?
I don't actually know. I don't think so. I started. So I went to university. I've got a university degree. I
Okay.
went to university, and this is kind of where it all started. I think it was in my second year of university, and I'd failed my first year, but they like credited my modules a little bit. So they boosted me up basically to be able to continue on to the second year. I got into the second year. It was a sports journalism course, so it was sports based. But I was quite a lazy student, shall we say. I was just playing FIFA a lot with one of the blokes we lived with, my best mate at the time, and we were like, we could make this work. We're quite entertaining. We worked so well together. Or like our personalities bounced off each other perfectly. So I think the first YouTube channel I ever started was a joint channel with him,
Mhm.
and that was doing FIFA videos. That was kind of like not opinion based. It was more like entertainment based. So it was like a road to Division One, series or whatever it was back in FIFA in the day. And that would have been on FIFA, I don't know, 16 or something like that. That was the first introduction I had to content creation. Making recording a video and then editing it and making a thumbnail, doing all the titling, everything. Obviously, on a brand new channel back then, it wasn't getting seen by more than like 10 people, but that was sort of like the starting point of it. So yeah, that
Do
was
you
that was a
remember
long
your
time ago.
first up? Maybe you don't remember your first upload, but do you remember the first feeling, like maybe your first sub or your first like, or the and not the first time you realized, hey, I'm going to be a big star, but the first time somebody said, hey, cool, anything that was positive feedback.
Um, I probably would remember back in the day. That's a long time ago. My memory is not that great.
You probably remember the first negative feedback though, right?
That's been blocked out. That's been long
There
blocked
you go.
out.
Smart. Because I have a feeling if you did get a little pass from your first year to second year at university, there was a little bit of comp JD in the counselor's office or the dean's office explaining why you think you should get another chance. Yeah, a little comp coming out.
Well, then the second year rolled around and I failed that as well. But again, they credited me up and I got let onto the third year because obviously uni is very expensive. I think it was 9 grand a year, and I was there, so it's just great in a nice little bit of debt. So I think they just want people on there, regardless if you're going to pass it or not. So yeah, failed my first year at uni, failed my second year at uni, and third year at uni is when I moved out of the house with my best mate in the second year. So that channel sort of died. We did quite a few videos. I think probably did like 20 or 25 videos together on FIFA,
Okay.
but they never got anywhere. It didn't get a following or anything like that. And then third year came around, and I started working a bit more on my actual course. I thought, I've been here 3 years, probably start putting in some work now. So I started doing a little bit of work, turning up some lectures as opposed to sitting, just sleeping through lectures.
People
Um,
asking, who are you when you show up to class? Who are you?
like
Oh, I've been in your
genuinely,
class 3 years, bud. Yeah, well, come on.
genuinely, I think one time the lecturer, I think this was in the second year, he pulled me and my best mate aside, and he was like, I think we'd like missed an exam or something like that. Like this is the level of like our laziness. We just like missing exams, but we just didn't care either. He said something along the lines of like, "Do you guys just like not care? Like I've never met some people so nonchalant about this about uni, and we're just like, we're just here for the vibes. You know what I mean? We're just here for the ride. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is." Um,
Here for the vibes. I like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
So,
disappointed in myself as well, sir. I really am. Yeah.
but yeah, year three came around and I decided to put a bit more work into it. But I was living in a house because I had to find a house that's sort of like last minute. So I got a house with these three girls, and they were all off doing, they were all like physios. So they were doing like 9 to 5 shifts at their work placement. So it was just me at the house pretty much all day. So I thought, I can probably start making more videos. I could probably start doing a channel on my own now because I can't do it with my best mate. So I started my own FIFA channel, which is long defunct now. But I started doing that, and I can't remember how many videos I did at that house. I think it's again probably like 25 to 30 on FIFA. And again, it wasn't
Yeah.
opinion based, it was just entertainment based, like
And
edits.
25 to 30 videos in like what time frame? How hard are you pumping out content? Are you
Um,
approaching it like you did university? Is this 25 videos in 7 months or
I think it's over quite a tight period of time. I'll probably say it's over like 2 months. I probably got a video out every day, maybe something like that.
okay,
I
okay.
can't really remember. Again, this is a while ago. Um, but yeah, that was that. I'm gonna jump back a bit actually, and say in second year was the first time I played a 2K game. So that's when 2K first made an introduction into my life. So we were bored at the end of second year. We'd played FIFA to death. We'd done all the videos on it, and we just had a look on like eBay to see, what's a cheap like sports game we could buy. And it was 2K15 was like a tenner. It was £10. I think we bought that, and I think we bought Madden as well, and I think we bought another American game. So we got that, and then that was my first introduction to 2K, was 2K15, and that was just playing it with a mate on the sofa. So it wasn't like grinding out my team for 1,000 hours a year. That was a very very
you had
time.
no idea. You had no idea what you'd done.
That
Clicking
one decision.
buy. That one decision. Yep. Confirm. Yep. Confirm to cart. Yeah. That's crazy. And just because it happened to be on sale, you're a little bit bored with FIFA, looking for something new.
Yeah, obviously not looking at my lectures, so yeah, looking for something new.
Yeah, looking for something to fill your day.
Pretty much. When I'm bunking off class.
Yeah, schoolwork wasn't cutting it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then, so this point, you're pretty much living alone with roommates, but you're doing it yourself now. And so, did you decide? Okay, it's content creation or nothing, or I'm gonna dabble in content creation, but I got to get my act together on all these bills I got piling up at university.
So I had a side job as well, which I'd had for actually probably like 2 years at that point, which was an editor of a website. It was a football website, and I was sort of like an editor and writer for that, because that sort of goes hand in hand with sports journalism. So I've been making money off of that for like 2 or 3 years. Obviously, you get student loan as well, so I wasn't like struggling for money. A lot of people had to get like weekend jobs and things like that, but I had this job which I'd had for a while, and during the summer I'd work at my local pub to get some money as well. So at the uni I could really focus on, I guess, doing the videos, which I didn't know was going to be a thing. Obviously at the time I was thinking, I'm getting this sports journalism degree. I have no idea what I want to do with my life. But I could, I didn't envision
You just
myself.
knew it was sports. You knew something sports related.
Yeah, definitely something sports related, and I could never see myself just getting sort of like a normal 9 to 5, which I did end up getting. But like at the time, I was like, I don't know which one, or like what sector to go in or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, at that time, I can't remember when it was, but I'm just looking at the time I first uploaded a video to my main channel now, and it was June 2016. So it was quite a while ago. That's, Jesus Christ, that's 7 years ago. So my first video was 7 years ago. So I think I must have been at uni then. How old am I now? I'm 28, so I was 21. So it might have been the last year of uni.
Wow.
I uploaded my first video.
And was that FIFA?
No, that was
moving
to 2K. It was an NBA 2K16 90 rated draft attempt. So it wasn't even on 2K. It was on 2K Deep. Oh no, what was it 2K MT Central back in the day, doing a draft. But yeah, so that was my first video. So it was 7 years ago. 2 weeks ago, June the 2nd, 2016 was my first ever video on 2K, and that's kind of when it all started. Jesus.
Well, happy anniversary. Yeah, that's wow. Okay. And that was to YouTube. And so you started uploading videos more constantly on YouTube. And when did you start feel like, hey, maybe I got something here? When did you feel like you maybe not made the right decision to give up on everything else, but hey, I made the right decision to upload, made the right decision to do this?
So I did 2K. I think there's like a time where I started. I did 2K16 videos. I think I then did 2K17 videos. And then I stopped for like a year, I think. So I had some life stuff happen that just kind of like shut everything down. So then I think I stopped for a while, and it was actually 2K themselves that got me back into it. So I got hit up by the 2K UK rep at the time, and he said, hello, we've got your name on the UK 2K content creator list here. Are you still active? And I was like, not really, but what's up? So they said, well, we'll send you a copy of the game. And this was sending me a copy of, this was 2K19, I think. Yeah, so they sent me a copy of, 2K18. They sent me a copy of 2K18. So it was the back end of 2K18, where they got in touch. And they said, so here's a copy of 2K18. And they said, we want to get you involved for 2K19. do you want to get flown out to New York for the 2K19 launch party? And at this point, my channel, again, I hadn't posted on it on a long time. It had probably like 3 or 4 thousand subs. You know, like it was a small boy channel, and
Okay.
here
So
I
you're
am. I've
thinking
got
this is
like
a prank or something? Like, yeah, oh yeah,
100%.
New
Like,
York,
you ain't gonna
sure,
send me out
sure,
to New
bud.
York. What are you gonna do? Let me pay for the whole
Yeah,
lot. You know.
yeah, yeah. Let me. Where do I send the deposit? Right? Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So he said that, and I was like, well, "You're having a laugh, mate." But I mean, sure, if you want me to play along with your joke, you know, by all means. So yeah, that did end up happening. As a very 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 small content creator, got flown out to New York with the 2K UK guys. Went to the 2K19 launch party. Obviously, I had all the 2K content creators there that I'd been watching for ages. Because again, I've been watching a lot of FIFA content, also watching a lot of 2K content, and that was kind of the kickstart of everything, really. That 2K19 was when I really started doing a lot of videos. I wasn't streaming, and I was working a 9 to 5, so I had a normal 9 to 5. I was a project manager. Well, at the end of it, I was a senior project manager, which sounds so much more fancy than it actually was. It was pushing around a couple of emails a day, and that was about it.
Hey, don't take it. Take it where you can get it. A
Yeah,
title, a title given is a title earned. That's what I say.
true,
You
true.
know?
So I was doing that, and then coming home and doing a video a day while doing all like the grinding and stuff as well. And then it got to a point where I think I only had about 10,000 subs. Again, it wasn't like a mad amount, but I was commuting. It was 40-minute commute there and back every day, so that was a lot. It was quite a lot of fuel, and my car, it's a thirsty boy. It drinks super unleaded, which is a little bit more expensive. So it was a decent fuel bill that I was getting pretty much every week.
Yeah, those
So I think
supercars will do that to you right there.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think it
And so,
was.
at this point, you're done with university? You're not pursuing a degree, or did
Oh
you end
yeah,
up
no,
getting your degree?
yeah, no, I skipped over that. I did finish uni and I did pass and I did get a grade
Okay.
better than the worst. So that's good.
Hell yes. Hey, that's a hell yes. All right. All right.
So, yeah, I pulled out of the bag when it was
Graduate.
needed. I clutched up. I clutched up.
Nice. Yeah. When it's time to lock in, when Comp JD needs to show up at the fourth quarter in university
That's the thing.
to
But
pass.
that's how I've been all my life. Really, like for exams, I really struggle with revision. But like when it comes to it, I'm good and like tie it into 2K. I guess before a 2K tournament, you have people sweating out in a limited and doing scrims against people. I'm just
Okay.
playing like the normal game. I'm doing whatever I'm doing normally, and then whenever it starts up, I'd have just been out of it. There was a game. There was one game day where I think it was that game day I came eighth actually. The game before that, I played domination. So I played a game of domination, and then it was straight into 2K qualifiers because I just can't mentally deal with practice because it's not a real thing. I struggle to switch on. I don't know. It's some weird mental thing I've got.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, a quick Dom game before the greatest
For real.
two quick 2K quals run in your life. Oh,
Basically.
okay, okay. So you're at this point, so you have a degree, you have a
Mhm.
job, a decent job in a field that you like, but you're still drawn to this content creation.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
pretty much. And then again, my channel gets to a point of I want to say it's about 10,000 subs. And I hadn't streamed at that point, so I hadn't done a single stream or anything like that. I don't think anyway. And yeah, I decided to, I wasn't really enjoying the job. I didn't really like the management. As everyone says that about every job, but the management were dicks. The people
yeah,
were
I hear the senior project manager was a real cutthroat dude.
he was the worst.
Yeah, he was.
So yeah, I handed in my notice, and I think that was 20. I think it was January, March. I think it was March 2020. It was just before COVID hit. Because I think we just had a couple of signs go up around the office saying about like wash your hands for COVID or whatever. This is obviously when it was just starting, so nobody knew about it. So
Yeah.
I think it was early 2020 is when I handed it in, and so they were just going work from home, and that's when I handed my notice in anyway. So it kind of worked out well. I never had to like work from home in that regard, but now obviously I work from home every day. So
Yeah, yeah, the like the ultimate transition to work from home. Like,
Yeah,
oh, you
yeah,
want me to wash my hands? Here's my 2 week notice. All right,
pretty
I'm
much.
out of here. I'm
Pretty
out of
much.
here. All right, okay. So, and that's geez. And so you're feeling good about, and if of course finances are, between you and your financier, but you're feeling good about your gaming situation is, hey, maybe I can pay the bills with this, you
Yeah, I mean,
know?
at this point, I'm still living at home, and
Okay, so the bills are a
um,
lot easier to pay then, right?
the bills are a lot easier to pay. Yeah, I mean,
You're
I
paying the
was
bills
still
doing the
paying.
chores still, which is smart. I say everybody live at home as long as you can. Make
Oh
them force
God,
you out.
yes,
Make them force
absolutely.
you out. That's right.
Don't
Yep.
feel bad about it. Like, enjoy it while you can.
Own it. Own it. Yep. Be the first 54-year-old that still lives at home. All right. You'll be rich.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah,
Okay, so the bills aren't that bad. So I guess that's another little backup plan. So
yes.
how did that conversation go? You, you,
Um,
you get home and they notice that you're still at home the next day. You're not going to work. You're playing a
they
lot
didn't
more video
understand.
games.
Yeah, they didn't understand, which is understandable because I'm leaving a 9 to 5 job that's got plenty of stability in a market that's not going to go anywhere. To sit and make videos, when you put it like that, you completely understand why people say like, "What are you doing there, bro?" But yeah, I made the leap. And then I think it was like the next month I started streaming up as well because obviously I had so much extra time now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Not quite as much extra time as you have at university, but
true.
right at almost the same line. So yeah, you're itching to still make content. And it was, do you think it was because you were good at the game or because you're good at talking about the game, or what was your big motivating factor today? Because putting
Um,
yourself out there isn't easy. There's a reason
that's true.
anybody that makes content goes live or uploads to be judged and criticized and torn apart.
I
Why?
knew I was
Why did you
never.
need that?
I knew I was never great at game. I never say, even when people say like, "Oh, you're great at this game," I always like downplay it. I don't think I'm great at game. I think I've got very good reactions, so like that really helps like the FPS games and whatnot. I'm good at most games. I just have a knack. Like if me and my girlfriend are playing on like the Switch, playing like on any random game, I'll just win, and it just happens. She knows this as well. She'll be the first to play. She loses at everything. If we go to the arcades and we do a game there, like I'll just win. When I'm doing so I've got a sim rig at my parents' house for like proper like F1 racing, and I'm always sort of like top top 3, 4, 5%. So again, I know like I'm good at most games, so I knew I had that going for me. I wasn't awful, and then yeah, I don't know. I just thought I could bring something else to it in the 2K space. So it was some FIFA creators that I used to watch, and I still do actually. It was Nepenthez and AA9 Skills, and they're massive FIFA creators. They have been for so many years, and they were doing the type of content that they're still doing the same content now, but they're doing the same content that I started making in the 2K sphere because I thought that content does great on FIFA, and I love watching them doing sort of like the Road to Glory style, No Money Spent style series. Um, longer form videos, sort of like 15 to 25 minute videos. And I thought, well, nobody's doing that in the 2K space. I think there's a market for that because if I enjoy it, there's maybe other people like me. I don't know. Maybe I'm that much of a nutcase. There's only one of me. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that could be my into that community and that game because I knew that FIFA was already that was gone. The FIFA community is so big and so competitive. I knew there was no chance there, but I saw the 2K community was quite small for the my team side of things. So I thought I've got this angle, and I think this would be the content that I would like to watch in the 2K space. So I thought, well, I'll put it out there and see if anybody else wants to watch it. So that's how it started. So it was 2K20. I started the sort of Road to Glory, so like No Money Spent series. So that was September 2019. So that's when I started being a No Money Spent and just doing that journey throughout the year of this is what you can start with. Obviously, it's me playing a hell of a lot, but this is what you can get to at the end without playing. Because that's obviously when microtransactions are starting to come into it a bit more
Yeah.
rapidly. But it's also just like covering the content as it's coming out and giving tips and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
showing
yeah, that's
be in the instruction book,
yeah.
be in the 20-minute, 15 to 20 minute instruction book that you can turn on the game that you're playing and get walked through it. And yeah, it's very appreciated. You can see by, I guess, by the reaction to it that yes, there's more than one other person that was interested in that style. So that was a smart move.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then what else? Oh, I had something I was about to say and I've just forgot it. That's really annoying.
Oh, you're welcome to my world. All right. I have notebooks upon notebooks. I got notebooks to write down my ideas, but then I forget where I put the notebooks. So yeah, somewhere scattered around there's yeah, and that happens with experience, not age, experience, because you have too many great ideas. You have to get rid of some of them.
Something like that.
And so do you see yourself being still involved in? And I know you're casual competitive, maybe, but it still feels like that's how you get your most enjoyment when you're whooping somebody. I know, maybe to put it at a grassroots level, finishing the top of the battlefield boards.
Yeah, true,
Do you
true.
see getting into that still at all, or just you like the comp in the spoonfuls that you get it when you want to play an unlimited game or whatever the unlimited version in FIFA is?
So weekend league in FIFA is the is a thing. So it is what it says on the tin.
Okay.
It's for the weekend. You get 20 games, and you get different rewards per however many wins you get. And I've played weekend league ever for as long as it's been out. It used to be 40 games over 3 days, which used to be very intense. But again, I used to play it back then because I love that competitive nature.
All
Um,
right.
and then this year and last year is brought us 20 games. I'm pretty good. The best you can get is 19 and 1. 19 and 1 gives you the same rewards as 20 and 0. And I think 3 times this year I've hit 19 and 1, so I've got the best you can get, which is it is respectable, and it is a good thing. I'm not going to downplay that. Like, getting that is pretty impressive, so I'm proud of myself for doing that.
Oh yeah.
And I think if 2K did something like that, that's what I would play, all the time, because like the 250K game day weekends, I love those tournaments. When you're actually playing for something that's got importance and has value, I'm there for it. I love that. But when I
And
load into a game,
the community vibes when it feels like a lot of people are involved in the same thing
yeah,
for
yeah.
once.
But when it's just loading into a game of unlimited to unlock an emerald prize ball, I don't have the patience to sit there for 30 minutes and play it out. But when it's 250K and I know that there's, it's only for 4 people, but there is something at the end of the tunnel. I think if we had a weekend league system in 2K, I would thrive with that, and I think the community would as well. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
I would thrive with that. But yeah, I don't know about the comp side of things at the moment. I don't really play the game like that at the moment. It's just trying to be a completionist. That's the new direction I've gone. Trying to complete the game and show what an account looks like that's just done with everything in the collector level.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing, because again, and that's why I appreciate finding your content as a instruction guide to a game mode. Because us vets, it's not a big game. We know where to find all the things, and it doesn't take us long to pick up a new game. But for a new player, and this is kind of any new video game, that they're so big nowadays that you can accidentally spend money on games that
Mm-hmm.
you didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to. Uh, and so it's good to have people that are willing to, if because of course you're going to get the replies in your videos that hey, you suck and all that stuff. But for the people that go, hey, thank you for this. This helps.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
I
and
think
I hope 2K24 it'll be feasible to be, nobody spent to a good level again,
oh yeah.
next year. Um,
And the thing is, and what I can appreciate about all the content creators that I've enjoyed, even through this year, with talk about an up and down, 2K season in
mm,
particular,
mm,
that they find a way to still give people entertaining things to watch, or and even if sometimes that's a different game, really sometimes that's playing a different game for your fans. It helps. So I for one, JD, am thankful that you decided to check out an on sale 2K game way back in the day.
yeah, that would have been. I can say probably 2014 or 2015. And
Yeah.
yeah, that is what triggered a kind of wild Wild
Yeah,
life, I guess. Yeah,
and
it
it
is
brings it, yeah,
really
to
cool.
being a professional video game player. That yeah, an awkward breakfast with your parents saying, "Yep, I've done it. Quit everything. This is it." To now, being, somebody that people look forward to firing up and watching. And not just a couple people, hundreds of people every time you fire up. And
Yeah,
that's on
which
you.
is
That's on you, man.
which is
And
mad
without
still.
music, without music, just
True,
another
true.
thing. Good on you. Um,
Well, thank you.
but it is Saturday night, and I took up an hour of your time, and I don't want to take up anymore. I could go on and on and on. I think you have an interesting story, and I know that we've glossed over so many things. Uh, but thank you again, JD. I have a favor to ask you though.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
What is it?
what all the other speakers have done me the solid so far is they get me off the hook and shutting the space down for me, saying goodbye, saying the closing remarks and closing thoughts. Uh, and what I
Can I?
do is I just mute my mic and let you or let them close the show, whatever they want to say, and once they mute their mic, then I know the show's over.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't think I've got a button to shut it down, but okay.
Nope, nope. I'll shut it down. So as soon as I know, that so take your mic off of mute, and then when you're done speaking, and then you mute, then I'll know it's time to shut it down.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But
All
it has been a great honor. Thank you. I am a big fan. I missed you going to Facebook, but welcome back.
right.
And have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic weekend.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, thanks so much for having me, man. That was a lot of fun. I didn't know if I was gonna be interested enough to talk to for an hour, but hey, we made it through. So thank you very much. Cheers to the boys for listening. Obviously I see all of the regulars, which I see every single day. So shout out to you guys, and I'll see you on a stream soon. And then look out for Tim's next interview with a blockbuster lineup. I think he's posted the lineup, and he's got quite a lot of people on there already. So keep an eye out for the next one. But yeah, Tim, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Cheers, boys, for listening. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday nights. Peace.